Enlighten me then.
I am a risless, unfuckable chud, okay? And that's how it is. That's how I was born. I'm an incel.
You're a good-looking guy. You have intentionally become a good-looking guy. You have looksmaxed. What is looksmaxing?
Looksmaxing is the furthest extent that you can take self-improvement, right? So we've seen a lot of different forms of that over the years.
I'm still phenotype, and I haven't got laid since July, so it's like, I am femicide.
6'7". I'm such a fat fucking chud.
Talk about facial structure?
Yeah, so I'm a looksmaxing giga chad. Basically, I discuss modeling and
Give him the word that I'm not a rover, and tell him that his lonesome nights are
8 months. What did I learn? I mean, so much has happened. I learned the closet shelf in my one-bedroom apartment built in 1956 somehow couldn't hold 324 pounds of pure chud. I learned racism and bigotry could be entirely eradicated by one brave sub-3 who will never be spoken of ever again. Meanwhile, the mid-tier normie who did the same thing is a celebrity superstar. I learned that there's actually multiple branches of government after deep diving into different political idiospheres. We're seeing people get angry about what happened in Mexico. And I'd say most of all, I learned what it's like to helplessly bear witness to your culture not only be appropriated, but to be mercilessly tied down and beaten and raped into a mere husk of its former self. I get a lot of assholes in the comments spouting their preconceived notions at me, like at best calling me a federal agent, and at worst questioning my true self status. Now, I understand it's the status quo to barbasticize and make fun of successful self-made entrepreneurs like myself and Mr. Small-Hand Cheeto Nazi Hitler. But no matter what insults are catapulted towards me, I can always sleep moderately adequately at night, knowing I am truly about the things I speak. There's no cap in my raps, as NLE Chopper would say. I have an uncle that I have seen at the very least once a year, every year since I was born. And starting at around 10 years old, he started asking me if I had a girlfriend. Obviously at first, it was nothing more than a playful conversation starter. Because what the fuck else is a boomer going to discuss with a fat 10-year-old retard that just got done watching the same Peanut Butter Gamer video he had watched over 70 times prior before being dragged against his will to the family outing? And as he asked, I would just raise my head up from my iPod Touch, making sure to have my head in his general direction, but not actually make eye contact with the man, and tell him no. Understandably so. I had a lot going on in my little 10-year-old life. Certainly not enough brain power to be worrying about the foidlings involved in my curriculum. Well, every single year after this, without fail, my uncle would start every interaction he had with me, once a year, with that magical question. So, do you have a girlfriend yet? And as the response stayed the exact same year after year, it turned from a fun little quip to make sure he interacted with me, to genuine intrigue by my late teens. I noticed by the time I was 19, he wouldn't actually wait until we ended up next to each other by some random chance, forcing him to deploy the tried and true conversation starter. At this point, he was actively seeking me out at the yearly gathering, like he had bet money on the fact I would still be a fucking loser. And as I entered my early 20s, and the response stayed the same, a distinct shift happened from intrigue to utter amazement. After turning around 25, I no longer attended the family outings due to being far too busy with... I thought this would offer some sort of respite from the yearly reminder of my celibacy, but no. Every single year, on my birthday, from age 25 to now, I get a text message. All this time, the answer is still no. So why tell you this? Well, through those years of him asking, and me responding with the same 2-letter word every single time, it made me realize something. I'm an incel. Shocker, I know. But it's just my reality. If I was meant to be a motorcycle riding badass, I'd be riding my motorcycle. If I was meant to be a sex-having partygoer, I'd be having sex and attending parties. But I'm an incel. That's who I am. And being proud of who you are is a great thing. Society wouldn't be anywhere near the level of advance it currently is if people weren't proud of who they were. That's what culture is. So as long as everyone stays within the social and physical constructs of their own hyper-specific culture, and make sure they never interact or participate in the cultures outside of their own, the world is awesome and at its perfect homeostasis. Well, that's how I thought things worked, as I don't go outside or interact with people that aren't in my mom's house, or along the designated path to the 3 food places I go to. Well, tell me why I'm laying in my bed, scrolling through funny-ass videos on my cell phone, when I see this.
Femcel phenotype, and I haven't got laid since July, so it's like, I am femcel. You need to get off TikTok? I know, I really do.
We're joking, right? I mean, I know it's supposed to be a wacky, ironic meme, but there's no way I'm watching some woman on my phone screen that has had sex with more people than I've made eye contact with in my entire life, take the lingo I have been using since 2015, and just bend it over and fuck it. I refuse to believe my culture has reached the point where middle schools are having to ban the word chud due to students spouting it in the middle of science class. I'd imagine it's a similar feeling to a 60-year-old Japanese woman watching a morbidly obese anime-viewing American failure frolicking through Tokyo in a reproduction kimono looking for the perfect 14-year-old to bride. Or living your entire life as a black person, just to one day witness a 14-year-old Swedish kid walking around a parking lot in sagging True Religion jeans to a beat made by an even whiter Swedish kid. I used to watch those Stolen Valor videos all the time, where some homeless crackhead would put on a Master Chief outfit and stand outside of the liquor store, hoping his TF2 spy disguise would score him extra fentanyl bucks, only to be approached by Sergeant General Bucksnort, iPhone 4 camera in hand, and tell him he would murder him if he didn't take off the military getup. And you know what? I get it now. I think if I saw some high-tier normie in public regurgitating incel speak he heard Nick Fuentes say in an Instagram reel, I would tell my mom to pull over, and I would give that asshole a piece of my mind. If that veteran can defend his experience on the front lines watching his squad mates get shot by whatever culture those people from the middle of the world practice, I can defend my experience from being on the front lines of the 10th grade lunch table watching Jeremy Heights tongue-fuck the face of the girl I almost had the courage to make eye contact with in biology. It's stolen valor all the same. You were deployed in Iraq. I was deployed in my bedroom to play Man vs. Machine while prom was happening. I think if it was just a few random normies making jokes about a reality they will never have to experience, I could cope with it. But no. There were full-on Zoomer streamer celebrities that have used my culture as a quick pump and dump to cash out on clips. And I hate to say it, but that's not even the worst of it. Typically, when I'm gaming and or talking with all of my buddies on Discord, I'll have my mom take moments of silence where she refrains from watching her boomer television go slot. I forgot I can't say that either, as that has also become socially acceptable. Where my mom refrains from watching her usual programs so that the internet will not have any issues that will impede on my gameplay or socialization. But her favorite program of all time being Saturday Night Live, I forego a playable ping for 1 hour on Saturday night so she may watch her show. Sadly, in our apartment, my living space is constantly in earshot of whatever bullshit she's intaking, but during my run of Uldaman on my shaman, I happened to hear the words Chad and Mogging faintly through my headset. I prayed to science in that moment I had officially developed schizophrenia, but I knew deep down I am too intelligent for that to be an option. So I slowly rose from my chair, peered into the living room, and bared witness to this.
Hell, tell us about your stream, bro. Like, you talk about facial structure?
Yeah, so I'm a looksmaxing giga chad. Basically, I discuss mogging, mandibular growth, and achieving sigma status by breaking my jawbone and pulling high-level talent.
So sick.
Well, after seeing that, I think it's time to call this whole incel thing quits. I mean, I've always been ahead of the curve with these things. I even predicted that this would happen 2 years ago, as fucking embarrassing as that is to say. Maybe we'll even get to the point where being an incel will be the coolest thing in the world. Then we'll see who's laughing. But, I mean, as long as the overall happiness level goes up, that's all that matters. I guess I just have to get more niche. That's why I'm happy to announce I'll be transitioning my channel into a bird watching channel. Oh, look there, it's a white-browed robin. Very beautiful call. Wow. Okay, well this really doesn't distract from the fact that I'm 30 years old and have never had a romantic encounter in my entire fucking life. Okay. Alright, I'm still a fucking loser.